welcome back to the Citizen channel. The sun's out, what more could we ask? It's still cold. I'm absolutely putting about 4 layers on here, guys. Please welcome to the preview show. Yes, we're going to have a look at a Champions League game. Yes, City versus FC Copenhagen or Copenhagen. Wonderful, wonderful, whatever they are, isn't it? Champions League Group G, match day 3. Yes, so 6 points out of 6 so far. We've got back-to-backs now against Copenhagen, so hopefully by the end of these 2 games, we'll have 12 out of 12. Fingers crossed. Wednesday, 5th of October, 8 p.m. kickoff. It's on BT Sport 3 and the BT app here in the UK. We're not getting down there. I assume this won't be a sellout, guys. I mean, I'm there. But if you can get down, of course. Just looking at the game, the odds on the game. Yes, I did my little odds show. Please check that out. Please, I don't condone gambling, and when the fun stops, stop. City are actually 2-1 to win the Champions League, so we're still firm favourites. Beating United 6-3 wouldn't have harmed that. PSG are 5-1, and Bayern Munich 11-2. So hey, if we don't win it this year, there's something wrong. I mean, we're top favourites there. I mean, we have been favourites most years, but it's been a little bit closer than that. Let's hope when it gets down to the semi-final stage, there's still confidence there as well. The match odds, though, City 1-20 on. So if you put 20 quid on City to win, you'll get 21 quid back. Is it worth the risk? Possibly not. Copenhagen are 40-1, and a draw is 12-1. Please, we launch into this review show now. Preview show, not review show. Please push that bell notification, push that membership button, push that subscriber button. Subscriber. I'm going all potty here. Press that subscriber button. It'd be great to have you on board and do everything City past, present and forever. That's if my mind hasn't gone, which it gradually is day by day, certainly after that 6-3 yesterday, I think it is anyway. Please do that. And of course, all your comments are welcome on this game or anything to do with City, of course. All welcome. All new comments are welcome from new people as well. I got lots of regular commenters, if you like, but it's great to have you on board. I think give us a little thumbs up, guys. I try and inform and entertain as much as I can, so please give us a thumbs up. Make an old City fan very happy. Yes, let's have a look at this game. Yes, previously we have played them. Of course we have. Yes, it was called the City of Manchester Stadium or Eastlands last time we played them. And it was the wonderful Marc Hughes in charge. I was very lucky, guys. I didn't get to see many games during Marc Hughes' reign because financial situation, but yeah, he was in charge. We actually was sat 10th in the Premier League, and we're going back to 2009, the 26th of February 2009. It was a UEFA Cup round 32. This was the second leg. We'd already played over in Copenhagen, and we'd eked out a 2-2 draw. Were you there? Let me know. That's in your comments if you were there. Let me know your memories of that. Of course, I'll do a little thing on the away game as well, which will feature that match. But obviously, it's back to front this time. Is it good? We're playing at home first as opposed to at home second in this one. So it's the 26th of February 2009. We managed to win it 2-1. So that put us through on aggregate, of course. Attendance, an interesting attendance, 26,018. That wasn't many, was it? And I'll be absolutely honest with you. I'm not sure whether it was there or not. I was picking and choosing the odd game. Possibly not. If it was cheap enough, which it may have been, I can't remember the ticket. I might have been at this one, but not a big crowd. So it probably, obviously, the old Eastlands held, 47,000 then. So just over half full. Empty seats at home. We love it, don't we? So after the 2-2 draw in Copenhagen, it was enough to see City through, of course, a 2-1 win to the last 16 meeting with another Danish side, Aalborg, 4-3 on aggregate. Is that who Uwe Rosler manages now? I'm not too sure, actually. I know he does manage a Danish team. I got a little quote from him after as well. The City team that night, here you go, here's some good names given. Zabaleta, he was replaced by Elano on 82. Elano, legend. Anua, Dunn, Richards, Wright, Phillips, Ireland, Company, Bridge, Rubinho, Bellamy. And the subs not used, Hart, Garrido, Bertie, Vassell, Gacido and Evans. Just a brief excerpt from the BBC match report. A strong City lineup were frustrated, they said, in the first half with Rubinho and Bellamy hitting the woodwork. Bellamy shrugged off one defender to finish from 15 yards on 73 minutes for his first, and good work by Rubinho on the left then allowed Bellamy to score from 10 yards for his, and City second on 80 minutes. So game over, you think, but this is typical City, isn't it? Martin Vingard finished to Shay Gibbons' right for a consolation strike on 90 minutes. It wouldn't be City unless they get made us sort of panic for a little bit, would it? Getting back to this game now, who's in charge? Well, we've got a relatively inexperienced referee. We've got Lithuanian officials on the pitch. We've got German officials over at the European equivalent of Stockley Park. We've got Donatas Rumsas will lead an all-Lithuanian on-field team of officials in midweek. The 34-year-old was appointed to 11 UEFA FIFA matches last season, and this is an interesting stat. He showed 60 yellows and 4 red cards, so almost 6 cards a game. So he likes a card. I think he refed one of the West Ham games last season as well. But any West Ham fans watching, let us know what he was like. And it will be his first Champions League game of this season. His assistants are Alexander Radius, yeah, that's easy to say, and Dovidas Suzideles, something like that. Anyway, VAR, as I said, German officials, Bastian Dankert, and alongside him making his schnitzel or whatever they have in Germany will be his Willie Delajod. There you go. Good old Willie's assisting making this schnitzel or whatever they make. Manfredus Lukjankukas has been named as the 4th official, keeping the two managers apart. I don't think there's any problem there. So FC Copenhagen, how are they doing 22-23? Well, they won the league last season, didn't they? But it's not such going their way this year. In the Champions League, of course, they lost to Dortmund 3-0. And then, yeah, probably a fair result in Copenhagen. They drew 0-0 with Seville, of course, we stuffed in the first game. In the Danish league itself, so obviously the goalless, but they do have a point in the Champions League. In the Danish league themselves, they now played 11 games, and they sit halfway. They sit 6 out of 12. There's only 12. They have a sort of playoff situation in Denmark for the top 6 clubs when they played each other. They've won 5 and lost 6. Yeah, scoring 18 and letting in 17, so just 15 points. And they are struggling a bit to find the form. There are reasons for that. They've just recently sacked the coach, so that doesn't help. They weren't impressed. I mean, it's not just in England, is it? These managers get sacked. And on the 20th of September 2022, Jakob Nistrop was announced as the new manager. He was actually assistant briefly before this, following the second of Jess Thorup, yes, he'd been sacked. So almost halfway through their regular season, they're 7 points behind surprise leaders Randers, and Copenhagen actually played a game more as well. So if Randers win that, they'll be 10 points behind. But a top 6 position, as I said, is needed to carry on and go forward to the playoffs. And this is still obviously well achievable, but they need to amass as many points as they can before then. But they do need to find a little bit of consistency. It was helped by a convincing 1-0, less than convincing 1-0 win over AGF on Sunday, as I'm recording this Sunday, the day we played United. But that was welcome after the previous 4 games in all competitions, including the Champions League. They suffered 3 defeats and a draw. So at least they're back on the winning trail, although it was far from conclusive. In both Champions League games, and I think in the league as well, based on what we've seen recently, they've lacked a little firepower. And away at City, I can't see anything changing too much. It's obviously what the proverbial free hit for a new manager, isn't it? I mean, he's not going to get hung out to dry, particularly if they don't perform at City, because most people think City are one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best, according to the bookmakers. So, yeah, I think personally, obviously priority is going to be the league. I still think they'll put a strongest team out, but I still think obviously that is their priority to get back up there. You know, they need to get back up in the mix in the playoffs at least to get a chance of retaining the title, which at the moment looks a little bit far away. Uwe Rosler, as I said, is now managing in Denmark. He had this to say about the visitors in the October City magazine. He said, FC Copenhagen have brought in a number of new players this summer, but they have found it tough going in the first part of this season. They are the flagship side of Danish football, and they are very experienced in Europe, so it won't be an easy game for City. though they are currently below us, team in the Superliga table. I still bet them to challenge for the title. I say that's what they would aim to do. That's why they got rid of the manager quite quickly. New manager bounce, a possibility with Nystrup. We don't know. Say he was the assistant before his promotion to manager, and of course he'd love to, prove his worth to their equivalent of the board, assuming they still have boards like we do. To shock the group's big boys by beating us, of course. As ever, it will be interesting to see, and it's up to how we play. Like any team we play, it depends how City do as to how this game will go. We'll be to see what 11 Pep puts out. An evening he makes, say, 5. I'm going for 5 changes at least for this game to the derby match. So at least if he makes 5 or 6 changes to the United game, we should still be able to beat them, but obviously perhaps not as comprehensively as our best starting 11, if you like. So let's have a look at the decisions after the derby match. Let's start with who was on the bench that I think might or might not earn a place in Pep's starting 11. Ortega is a possibility, and I seriously thought of putting Ortega in my starting 11, but I just know that Pep wants to win this next 2. It's very important we get the wins against Copenhagen at home and away. So I think he will stick to Ederson, although I was tempted, as saying it won't be a total shock if Ortega does start, but I think Ederson will be in. And I think Ortega may get a chance at least one of the last 2 group games if it's done and dusted. So that he will get his chance. And of course, we've got a Carabao Cup game in November as well, hasn't he? So he's at least got a couple of games coming up, perhaps 3 if he gets both for the Champions League games. Diaz and Laporte surely will start in this. Don't see any. I mean, Diaz is, be chomping at the bit after being, well, more or less dropped in theory, wasn't it? Laporte, obviously, now he's got a few minutes under his belt. It might be a bit rich for him to start, but I think it's probably an ideal game. I don't think you're going to come under great pressure too much. Fingers crossed. We've got a problem now with Walker injured. I don't know how long Walker's out as I'm recording this. Gomez is very possible. He did okay in the derby. I think he was possibly one of our weaker players. He was on for a half and a bit, wasn't he? But I think personally, Cancelo will slip across back to the right, and I think he'll take a chance and play Aki on left back because Aki's been playing brilliantly anyway, and I don't see any problem why Aki can't do a job on the left there. Mahrez has got to be certain, hasn't he? He's a certain starter. Palmer, not so much. It depends on what Pep does with Bernardo, Foden and KDB. I mean, you've got to be... I mean, Bernardo stayed on all game. All right, Foden and KDB got a bit of a rest against United. So it'll just be very, very odd to see very interesting, not hard, very interesting to see what he does with the midfield. Lewis, of course, is not going to start this game. So based on that, these are the guys that were on the bench that I think will definitely start against Copenhagen, and that's Diaz, Laporte, off the bench. Diaz, Laporte, Alvarez, and Mahrez, and I put a little question mark against Palmer because it just depends how what Pep's thinking. Can we really do without KDB, Foden? Oh, what's the other one? I forgot who the other one was now. That's how bad it is. Bernardo, Foden or KDB. Can we really do without those 3 guys? I think we need one of them. Who will it be? Yeah, so there you go. That's 5 potential with Palmer changes for the derby. And of course, Rodri. We don't know how serious. I don't know how serious the Rodri thing is. I mean, if he's fit, he'll come back into this, no problem. I think he'll get a game in this. He may have planned to rest him, but with him missing the derby game, I think he might get a game in this one. So, which 6-ish will start again from the 6-3 derby victory? Well, I think Ederson. No, as I say, I have thought of Ortega, but I think Ederson will get in. Aki is a left back, Cancelo is right back, as I said. Up front, surely Grealish is going to get another go as well. He's not played many games. He won't be tired. Midfield is the tough. He always will be. I think Gundogan will get the shout again. But I said Palmer may be a possibility. And either Foden or KDB. Of course, if Rodgers is fit, if old Rodgers is fit, I expect him to play, and KDB and Foden could probably be rested then, because obviously you're not bringing Gundogan into that thing and needing another midfielder. So this is my 11, guys. This is what I've ended up with. Let me know yours. Let me know your thoughts. I've got Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, Aki. That's my back 4. I've assumed Rodri's not playing. If he's fit, he will obviously be in front of them. but I've still got Gundogan. He did a good enough job and certainly should do a good enough job against Copenhagen. So I'll put Gundogan, Palmer. We've only got, because we're running out of guys to stick in there and give people a rest. And it's going to be KDB or Foden. I personally, I've put KDB. I've put KDB on the hope that he'll get 2 or 3 goal lead and can bring him off at half time or something like that. So I've gone for KDB. Grealish, Mahrez, and of course up the middle, or he may play a false 9. We don't know. Alvarez. I think Alvarez will start. I think Haaland will be rested for this one. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think Haaland's going to play in this one. So there you go. Let me know your 11. Please check out my little odds show. I've sort of put the cat amongst the pigeons with that little team there. Say it's if we can get 8 of those right, I'll be well happy, because we just don't know how Pep's going to play this Champions League. We've got Southampton, of course, on Saturday. Again, we need to win all our Premier League games, especially certainly the home games. And you imagine if we can get at worst a draw at Liverpool, but we've got to be beating, say, Leicester away as well, etc. So. Yeah, I think he will have one little eye, half an eye. He'll have half an eye on Southampton. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what your starting 11 is. As I say, take a chance. That's part of the fun, isn't it? Taking a chance of what Pep's going to think. And I didn't do too bad last week, so let's see what happens. Of course, player ratings and talking point shows will be after the game, so the earliest they'll be out will be on Thursday. And please check out my Copenhagen odds show as well. And just share all your comments and thoughts. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Until we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.